I'm looking forward to it, Lidakor. This is going to be it right now. PuppyPaw, he's got a lot of money on the line for this because we are entering into game number 4 in this series. Spawning in on that west side of the map, playing in the color blue as the Holy Roman Empire, it is LucifroN 7.
And on the other side of the map, we're going to have another HRE enjoyer, PuppyPaw, playing as the red HRE, a civilization that he has not won a single game with in the entire tournament. 0% win rate right now for him. A civilization, however, that received a buff previously during the week. Now you start with a prelate, but you start with 100 gold less, so you can start boosting your economy quite a bit. Bit of an inefficiency over here for him. You see, he has to micro that prelate to the southern part of his town center and then micro it all the way to the north for the gold miners, as compared to LucifroN, who you can see has the sheep villagers and the gold miners on the same side, making it a shorter journey for that one prelate that's microed back and forth.
Yeah, this is big brain time right now. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that. But I'm curious to see how strategies develop in this game. One of the things that we have been seeing out of players is 2 town center play for the Holy Roman Empire. Just simply because you can't punish it. It is impossible to punish just because of how much extra time gets bought from the emergency repairs. So I've been watching a number of HRE games, and the big thing that you see is that with 1 ram, you can't kill a second town center. You cannot kill it. It is impossible because it just repairs up in time. So you actually need a second ram out to kill it, the Holy Roman Empire town center. But I don't think we're going to be seeing any ram rushes coming out today in this matchup. Obviously, a very defensive game. Both of these civilizations, well, obviously just the single civilization, but both of these guys playing the Holy Roman Empire, probably not going to be focusing too much on feudal age play. I suspect we're going to see some pretty quick castles here.
Yeah, PuppyPaw is going aggressive with his scouts over here. You could see for a brief moment LucifroN healing up his scout over there, so it's not going to be possible for PuppyPaw to kill it, but he's coming in for a bit of a harassment over there. LucifroN already on the way to Feudal Age. Town Center actually getting a shot on that scout. Oh, it gets someone. Oh! That's gonna hurt.
And this is something I was talking about in the last game, is like, it's weird because sometimes your gold will spawn in a really advantageous spot where it's just 1 tile closer to the town center. But that tile difference means that you can't be harassed by scouts, and that really impacts your enemy. And obviously we can see it in a tangible way right here. Losing a scout this early in the game, it might not seem like a big thing, but it really plays out. Because think about what that scout might have done. Let's say you park that scout in the back of your enemy's base, and all of a sudden you spot that he's on stone. Well, great, now you know what he's up to. It gives you more information. It allows you to play at an extra level, giving you that extra level or layer of intelligence. And so that's why having these scouts is so important, and why that second scout being lost there for PuppyPaw is massive.
It's massive indeed. Let's take a look at those Aachen Chapel spots though, because we do have 2 Aachen Chapels coming up, 1 by each player. At the back of LucifroN's base is his first one. It's not going to be a spectacular one, it's not really touching the gold, but it's going to be good for the hunt, it's going to be good for the lumberjacks and then the villagers under the TC. Given the circumstances, this looks like a pretty decent one. And on the other side, a very similar Aachen Chapel out there, so we have to say that both of these players will be playing from a very even spot Aachen Chapel-wise.
Yeah, the only difference here is going to be the berries. Take a look at the berries for PuppyPaw's Aachen. It is within the ring of that Aachen. Compare that over to the Aachen Chapel of LucifroN, and it's a little bit different. So not going to have that. You can see right there, he's going to be able to pop a mill down and get that juicy, juicy buff. But compare that over to LucifroN, not going to be the case. And interestingly, we don't see a deer push coming in today. So one of the things that we did see yesterday coming out from Wham, which was PuppyPaw's brother, before that internet got cut, was he did a deer push. He pushed the deer all the way across. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I don't even know how many tiles. He must have pushed the deer like between 10 and 12 tiles. Every single deer towards that Aachen Chapel. Not today, though. Not today. Looks like a heavy wood opening here from PuppyPaw as well. Have we got a second town center coming up? What is this all about right now?
Yeah, definitely we have some deviations in the build orders here. You see that PuppyPaw is going for wheelbarrow as compared to LucifroN. LucifroN feels like he just wants to rush straight castle over here. You see no eco upgrades coming in for him. He's got 2 prelates out already, so he's ready to move out on those relics out there. And the fact that the Aachen Chapel is nowhere close to the gold mine is a sign that you could be seeing the Ragnitz Cathedral, because Obviously, if your primary source is the Relic gold from the Ragnitz Cathedral, it's no problem that you're gonna have the
Look what we have here! Look what we have here, Lidakor.
Love it. Full aggression. This could be full feudal aggression here by PuppyPaw, and it could punish LucifroN so heavily. I think LucifroN spotted this, but what is he going to do against it?
This is curious. What's the whole decision making behind this? So starts out with the spear. Spear going to start attacking the scout, going to force it away. He's obviously spotted that it's going to be a stable as well as a barracks coming out. So he's going to respond with a barracks himself. But he's already almost up to the castle age. So by the time that any units get out here, not only is he going to be on the way to castle, but he's probably going to have a spearman.
Ooh, this is weird. Like, as you pointed out, this forces a reaction here from LucifroN, but the reaction doesn't have to be massive. And LucifroN, he's still going to be working his way towards Castle Age. Once he gets there, he can get a couple of Castle Age upgrade man-at-arms, so he can beat back most of the aggression, and he can start picking up those relics. Good news for PuppyPaw is that he's gonna have some horsemen to potentially deny the relics with, but it's concerning for him that he's very far away from Castle Age, so sure enough, you can delay LucifroN from picking up those relics, but you're not gonna get those for yourself either.
Yeah, and I guess that's the curious thing for me, because just remember, it's only a matter of time until those knights come out. And knights, even up against feudal spearmen, are pretty damn ferocious. We do indeed see it's a Ragnitz Cathedral coming out for LucifroN, so no sneaky Burgrave Palace shenanigans today coming out, but double spearman going to be looking out here. Keep in mind the prelate's going to be able to repair or heal up these units as well in the event that in the event the fight gets a little bit extended. There's the heal coming off now. He's able to force back these units, and no real damage was done. The castle age is successfully up here for LucifroN. PuppyPaw though, he's what is he doing? What is he doing right now?
I don't know. I'm completely at the loss of words right now. It looks like some men-at-arms are coming in here. Feudal Age men-at-arms making an appearance. Now, if he can push away LucifroN from this gold mine, it could give him a slightly decent position. But, like, there's the prelate, as you pointed out, and in such low numbers, when you only have 2 horsemen, 1 man-at-arms, 1 spearman fighting, the prelate's healing ability is enough to hold this one back, and you see decisive win for LucifroN. He's gonna get to Castle Age, and he's about to start moving out for his relics. Whatever PuppyPaw's plan was here, it's not working.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. It was a very curious opening, I'll say that much. But yeah, I can't help but feel like it's definitely not going to be working that effectively. Obviously, he's got the men-at-arm out here, but the prelate is just going to repair it or heal it up. We do see the Age 3 now coming through for PuppyPaw. A Wololo up towards the north, going to be able to try and capture those horsemen. No success today. Horseman heading back towards that prelate and looking to dish out some damage. A spearman going to be coming out as well. More men-at-arms now for LucifroN being built up here. PuppyPaw going up with, I can only assume, the Ragnitz Cathedral at this point. And look at that, the prelate getting away with 18 health.
That's the Burgrave.
Wait.
That's not the Ragnitz. That's the Burgrave Palace. That has to be. If you look at the icon, that should be the Burgrave. Oh, it's the Ragnitz. It's Ragnitz. Okay, I was
the
hyped.
Ragnitz.
I had hope.
I had hope as well. A man can hope, but no emergency repairs. Not today, sir. Loses the house. The scout getting out some great damage there, and that's the difference between 1 scout versus 2. Is that you can use your scouts to siege down your enemies' houses. Another Wololo down towards the south. He's going to be trying to contest this position. I think he might get it off. Oh, it was close, Lidakor, but that prelate does indeed lose its life. And now moving out. It's also going to have the Wololo ability ready to use because it wasn't successfully commanded from his enemy. We'll look to see how he plays it because there's quite a few units coming out here. Double men-at-arms going to be out as well. And now looking to try and chase down the second prelate. Wololo going to be coming through shortly, I suspect. He should be able to use it. I'm not sure why he's not.
Yeah, I think he isn't feeling confident in his ability to get the conversion before the prelate gets killed, and he's just making a run for it. If he loses the prelate, the enemy would just pick up the relic, and it looks like he's making his way back home. He's got some men-at-arms out there, and I'm starting to see what PuppyPaw had on his mind, because he forced the barracks from LucifroN. So sure enough, LucifroN managed to hold off that assault, but LucifroN doesn't have knights, which gives an edge here to PuppyPaw, who already has some out there. He's going to get that relic close enough for him to pick it up with the next prelate, and he's going to be the one securing the 3rd relic.
Yeah, interesting stuff from PuppyPaw. The fact that this has actually come out pretty strong, forcing out the barracks from his opponent, as you mentioned. Wait, there's only 1 relic in the bag for LucifroN. Hold on. This is the third relic. There's still a fourth relic out there up towards the north that's yet to be captured. Does LucifroN know about this relic? Are we able to check in on his perspective and see that his line of sight as to whether he knows about this relic's positioning?
He might know about that one, but he's going to lose the prelate anyways.
He does.
He knows about it.
He does know.
But he can't go. So, he can't move out.
There is a prelate moving towards it, or there's a unit moving towards it, just towards that western side. We'll take a look. Yeah, there's another prelate going to be moving up there for PuppyPaw. There it is. LucifroN going to be trying to pick it up now. So has been denied multiple prelates out here, but it does look like this one will successfully come out. But now we can see the interesting composition. I love this composition from the Holy Roman Empire. So it's going to be Landscanact together with Knights. This is a beautiful comp coming out from PuppyPaw, and a lot of damage. These guys swing like beasts.
Yeah, they're very fragile, but when you have a main line of Knights, they will be the ones absorbing the damage, and that area damage is just massive for the Landsknecht depth. You see they're swinging their swords out there. Looks like that one Landsknecht was picked off. PuppyPaw getting pushed back into his own base over here, 10 army versus 12, but this is gonna be no big deal for him to hold. And let's not forget, he already has the second relic garrisoned in the Ragnitz Cathedral, so he's got that gold income already, whereas LucifroN is yet to garrison it. You see that the final relic by PuppyPaw was dropped inside the tower, so right now we're looking at 700 passive gold per minute versus only 300. LucifroN yet to deposit that second relic.
It is coming in though, so eventually it will be a very close battle with regard to the economics between these two players. But LucifroN with a nice little bit of a number advantage here. He's going to have to fall back. PuppyPaw will back towards this stable, but we might see a potential Imperial Age coming through for these guys. Neither player really yet to begin transitioning over to a heavy food economy. Are we able to take a look and see whether farms have started coming out for these guys, or whether they're still on their food inside their base? Take a look now over towards the base of LucifroN. It looks like we've got 6 farms, 7, 8 farms coming up now for him. He is slowly but steadily farming up around the town center. We'll check in over on PuppyPaw's side as well, whether he has started up the farms. And it looks like he's got a single farm down, so the farm transition is happening. Is that a siege work? No, that's a blacksmith. That is a I thought that was a siege workshop. I was about to lose my mind.
Nah, it's just a blacksmith. Looks like we do have men-at-arms on the menu for PuppyPaw. You see he's grabbing the 200 weapons upgrade. He may have already gotten maces. I wasn't looking at that, but he's gonna have 200 weapons for him. So he's got a mixture of knights, Landsknecht, and of course the men-at-arms. Right now, he's got 1 villager lead, and more importantly, an extra relic, and now the knights are swooping in. That's where the villager lead comes from. A couple of villagers will fall here for LucifroN.
Yeah, this is big. This really starts to hurt because he's losing more and more villagers, and the big thing is he's being idle. And it's going to mean that his enemy's got the ability to sort of push, gain a few more extra units in this time as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing the composition that comes out here, whether we're going to start seeing some crossbows. It's very rare that you see archery rangers come down for the Holy Roman Empire, but today could be the day. It would make a lot of sense considering your enemy is making knights as well as men-at-arms, like full armored units.
Well, look at those men-at-arms for PuppyPaw. He already has a 200 maces. On the other side, I'm not even sure if the Castle Age upgrade was reached by LucifroN. Those men-at-arms, they definitely don't have 200 weapons or the maces. Now the knights are once again swooping in, and LucifroN down to 39 villagers as compared to 42, and he's the one under attack. He's the one defending, and he's also down a relic. This is getting concerning for him. He's going to lose all the men-at-arms. Indeed, those are still early. And that's a lot of resources down the drain. That's 120 resources apiece for those men-at-arms.
Yeah, he might not be investing into normal men-at-arms just because he feels like he doesn't need it. But it looks like a little bit of a gap going to be opened up towards that top position. But you can see LucifroN covering it. He's just sticking with the Lancers for now, or the Knights for now. But take a look at that. The Landsknecht numbers beginning to build up. He's up to 7 Landsknechts now. PuppyPaw is looking very strong.
He's looking very strong, and LucifroN is gonna try to play this one greedy. Potentially, he's rolling up, and he's ready to go into Imperial very soon. And this is the window that PuppyPaw could use. He's floating a ton of resources, but if he just turns that into army, he could easily do a ton of damage before the LucifroN reaches Imperial here.
Yeah, he's going to be turning his attention towards that wall. You can see it's completely come up now. LucifroN is slowly but steadily working his way towards that Imperial. He's down by about 3 villagers, but just remember when he's got that printer out, things are going to be very different. And look at that little hole on the way through. Have we got a wall coming up on that western side of LucifroN's base for PuppyPaw? What is that all about? Has that wall already been made? No, it has not. It's just chilling. It's being chilling right now. Villager actually heading out. There is that gap in the wall. Villagers doing what they always do, and just they build the entire wall with the exception of just this one little spot. Because why not? You know, fuck you in particular. That's what they say.
There is an imposter among us. That might actually go unnoticed here by LucifroN, but one thing that LucifroN is going to notice is a couple of gold miners over there. First time he's killing villagers, and it looks like PuppyPaw is the one trying to go into Imperial here. Perfect timing by LucifroN's counterattack. He's gonna get quite a lot of villager kills.
Yeah, this is pretty big right now. PuppyPaw gonna get caught with his pants down. It looks like the Knights are going to be repelled, though. The Lance Connect coming in, going to be dishing out a little bit of damage. But raids are happening on multiple fronts here, and PuppyPaw's villager count starting to dwindle. He's less than the villagers that his enemies got right now, and LucifroN does take the villager lead. Obviously, both of these guys heading towards Imperial means that we could be setting ourselves up for a bit of a late-game push. I wouldn't be surprised if this one heads towards that hour-long mark, because this could be a very grindy match here.
This could be a very grindy match over here. A lot of villagers went down over here for PuppyPaw. Obviously, their importance will be lower and lower as we go deeper in this game because the Pashos Frabia will just replenish them so easily. But PuppyPaw is down by 10, and that's going to give a nice little edge over here to start with for LucifroN. This being said, LucifroN just lost his entire army. PuppyPaw still has a respectable force, and these villagers, these are stranded. So there's a chance here for PuppyPaw to do some damage, but as we discussed, the importance of each individual villager is going to get lower and lower as we go deeper in this game.
Outpost looks like it's going to be denied here. LucifroN fortunately catching it before it gets too much damage down. Villager will be going down. We'll take a look at the upgrades now for both players as LucifroN's looking to get double broad axe as well as his horticulture, but the hole in the wall continues to exist. It looks like PuppyPaw wants to create his own. But now another outpost going to get thrown up on the backside. It looks like all attention is turned towards that single partition. But Palace of Swabia has begun printing for LucifroN, yet for some reason PuppyPaw has decided not to bother printing today. His villager count is starting to dwindle. He's 9 villagers behind his enemy, and that's going to continue to grow as the Knight makes its way into the woodline. But just doing a bit of a run by.
That's annoying because that's a lot of idle time, and in a mirror matchup that could be easily punished. And now PuppyPaw is getting punished for playing an open base scenario here. He's void on the right and left, but he's open in the middle, and LucifroN is exploiting that one with great effect. This being said, looks like the forces of PuppyPaw are making their way to the left side of LucifroN's base, and indeed, that's a couple of dead villagers here. They should not be able to escape.
Yeah, they should not be able to escape at all, but it looks like he's managed to sort of catch them off guard, trying to make a bit of a run through. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to re-wall that position either. The Knight's going to be able to chase that one down. Lance Connect's going to be able to deal with the outpost as well, but yeah, you continue to see that, and this is part of the problem. Like, I don't know, I definitely don't agree with it. I feel like 70 wood on the wall at the front of the base is worth nowhere near as much as the villagers that you're losing, because it is just ludicrous how much idle time has come through here. PuppyPaw has been just pulling out his hair with these raids, and just one Knight just continuing to run past, and you can see it there heading on that north side. It looks like it does get picked up, but it is not a good feeling, is it, having these Knights just always in your base?
Yeah, indeed, and it is annoying, especially at this stage of the game. You can't really fall behind. You can't afford to let that happen in a mirror matchup like that one. Finally, wars are coming up. Better late than never, says PuppyPaw. He's only behind by 2 villagers though, so that's the good news. He was able to retaliate for his previous villager losses. Both players transitioning to farms as we speak.
Yeah, the farm transition now well and truly in for these guys. Still a little bit of damage trying to be done. And so the question is, where do we go from here? And typically in this matchup, you'd expect to see a lot of siege, or rather, when you see the Holy Roman Empire in the late game, you would expect to see a lot of siege. But siege has less impact in this matchup because both of them have got access to the Culverin. And the Culverin is going to be incredibly effective against Mangonels, incredibly effective against Bombards, and so it makes it very hard to justify going for, because normally what you would see out of the Holy Roman Empire is that classic 3 Bombard push. You know, 3 Bombards, 10 barracks, and a whole bunch of men-at-arms. Obviously not going to be the case today, because a single Culverin coming out could be the end of it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Looks like we're gonna have a very infantry-heavy composition here for LucifroN. You see he's adding Spearman, he's adding the Landsknecht. It's gonna be a deadly combo. On the other side, Landsknecht as well is on the menu for PuppyPaw, but he's also taking into Horseman. That could give him a nice edge with mobility, and if he can find ways to raid, that could open up a lot of possibilities for him. But he can't take direct engagements against that many spearmen, that's for sure. PuppyPaw also on stone. He could be working his way towards that first keep in the middle.
Yeah, this could be it, but now it looks like LucifroN going to show his hand and display that he is indeed making spearmen out here. This could be hard because one of the things to note is that PuppyPaw's got to specifically target down the Landsconnects in this fight. He can't just move his units and let them go, because if the Landsconnects are allowed to fight, they're going to be dishing out damage non-stop. You can see them there with their golden pants as they swing their Zui handlers. But it looks like PuppyPaw takes a pretty commanding lead in the early fight of the game. I say early fight, we're 20 minutes in. This is really the first big fight that's happened.
Yeah, and look at that forward castle. He's going to leverage this. He's controlling 3 sacred sites, by the way, behind this one, something that we haven't talked about, but he's trying to leverage that battle victory, and he's going to drop a forward castle. Reinforcements now coming in here for LucifroN. You gotta be careful still, you gotta respect the Landsknechte, but you also have a very tanky force of men-at-arms here, and that is probably the bigger concern for LucifroN right now. He has no tools to directly deal with the men-at-arms aside from Landsknechte, and he's yet to address these knights potentially breaking into his base.
This could be unfortunate, because remember, when it comes to dealing with knights, or when it comes to knights, they have a significant amount of attack and a significant amount of health, which means that they're very good at killing villagers and still getting out alive. So you can try and focus them down, but the reality is they're going to take out a lot of villagers before you can actually kill them. But now it looks like he's going to be just doing a bit of a run through in the base, managing to find a couple of villagers. He's going to keep running through, not look to try and fight this out, because if he does, those spearmen are going to be making short work of him. But down towards the south side, it looks like Sacred Site #1 is going to be converted over or neutralized. And that run through, it's continuing.
It's continuing, and right now this is acting as a diversion. You see all those Landsknechte, instead of fighting on the battlefield, they're chasing knights, and this is giving a perfect window for PuppyPaw to drop that forward keep that we talked about. And also the Landsknechte burn their way through those walls, and LucifroN still busy chasing those knights. Now the new force of infantry is breaking into his base from the south.
Yeah, this is pretty big. The Landsknecht are going to be looking to defend it, and we can really see the power of them in this matchup. No archery ranges dropped from either of these players yet. They are stuck with a completely melee ranged or a melee force here, with the exception of that keep that is looking to lay down the law in the center of the map. But it looks like a siege workshop immediately gets dropped down. Take a look at LucifroN just dropping down this siege workshop with the speed of 1,000 sons, I guess.
Villagers?
Like 1,000 sons of Usain Bolt. Like, look at this right now. This is just, it is immediately down. So I suspect we'll see a bombard coming out in response almost immediately for him. I guess the other thing is, in this matchup, you can go for trebuchets, because trebuchets are going to give you that little bit of extra range to survive against Culverin, because PuppyPaw could look to get Culverin out himself.
Yeah, he could and he should look to get that out for himself, because obviously, as long as he's maintaining control over that extra sacred site in the middle, that's another extra 100 gold per minute, and those are the edges that you're looking for in a mirror matchup like this one. Like, let's not forget, we do have an extra relic here for PuppyPaw, plus 2 sacred sites. So as long as you have that castle up, that's going to be trickling in some extra resources for you, helping you with population efficiency. Another keep in the making here. That bombard might be perfectly timed, because if it pops out right now, it should be able to destroy this one shot, but it looks like it's a little late to the party.
Yeah, both a Culverin as well as a bombard in queue at the moment for LucifroN. So has 2 separate siege items, siege units in queue. University is out, and we do see that bombard is beginning to fire off. The bombard going to be very well defended here. A lot of Landsknechts together with a lot of spearmen, and now the villagers on the front side going to be looking to repair this keep up. But remember, the bombard just absolutely shreds through that keep. That's going to be draining a lot of resources there for PuppyPaw. We'll take a look and see. It looks like PuppyPaw going to be responding with a siege workshop on the front side of his own. So you can expect to see some Culverin going to be coming out for him, but a nice little raid up towards the north side as well. PuppyPaw preventing expansion out towards this northern expansion, but it looks like the keep is already up, and that's going to be able to deny the raid. He manages to keep alive 14 of those villagers, and he is trying his best to restrict, but unfortunately not having a lot of luck just yet.
PuppyPaw was playing for resource control over here, and he's done a good job, but he missed that one castle over there, and that's going to hurt, because now LucifroN does have an expansion. That's a scary army, though. Scary army for both directions, and the army for LucifroN is trapped on the outside.
Beautiful wall off right there for LucifroN. Lance Connect coming through. He's got to move these bad boys. A lot of these guys not yet moving, but there we go. The Elite Lance Connect is in, and PuppyPaw looking very strong in this position. Absolutely swinging to win right now. All sacred sites are taken. The keeps are down on the front. Sure, there's bombards down, but LucifroN taps out. PuppyPaw don't care. Good game gets called, and that's 3-1 to PuppyPaw.
3 in a row for him, moving into match point in the biggest set of his career, playing from a hotel Wi-Fi because of all the adversities that he had to get through here. Unbelievable performance in this one, and LucifroN wasn't playing this one badly. He was playing a smart game. He actually picked off so many villagers at the beginning here from PuppyPaw, but that extra Relic is paying off for PuppyPaw big time, the extra sacred sites, and then just the ability to corner LucifroN inside his base. LucifroN wasn't allowed to expand, and in the end, those knights breaking into his base, distracting him, PuppyPaw getting that forward castle up, all culminates in a victory for PuppyPaw, pushing him to match point.
Absolutely impressive stuff. You looked at that last fight, and I just said to myself, there's no way that PuppyPaw wins by that much, but no, he really destroyed him. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. There was so many damn units out for him there. That was impressive. That was really good. I'm going to have to take a look back at that unit composition that he went there, because that seems to be the supreme late game composition in this matchup.
I think it has to come down to those men-at-arms, because he had some men-at-arms in there, and sure thing, the Landsknechte, they are scary. They do a ton of damage here all across your army. However, the men-at-arms are probably the tankiest unit in the bunch, and just having some units that absorb the damage probably was a welcome addition, because LucifroN's army was mostly Spearman Landsknechte. Having some men-at-arms out there for PuppyPaw definitely helped.
Yeah, the men-at-arms enable that little bit of tankiness. Well, we're going to be jumping into game number 5 in this series shortly. It is going to be English versus the Mongols on Altai. So it is going to be the final home map for LucifroN. From here, LucifroN needs to beat PuppyPaw 3 times in a row. And 2 of those maps are going to be PuppyPaw's home maps. That's King of the Hill, that is Mongolian Heights, 2 maps that are great for China. So perhaps we see some China coming out